This is KP from the Memphis 10. I write, I blog, I inspire. This is blogspot.com.
Let me go ahead and get started. What's up, everybody? This is KP with kpmemphis10.blogspot.com, and I have the pleasure of having Block here with me today to do an interview. How you doing today, Block?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear. So you just dropped your latest album, Billboard Music.
First album. I mean, some may call it a mixtape, but I put a lot of time and effort into it. There's no DJ mixing on there. It's all original music. So I'm gonna call it, my first album.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I feel like you released it like a label would do. You had singles for us to preview and expect what to come from the album. Your singles were accompanied with videos, and then you promoted it very well. That's one of the things I wanted to reach out to you about, just being an independent artist. I've always noticed that you have frequent email updates, you have a professional approach, you have great artwork for your singles, and even for this album that you have here, and your videos are always really, really good. Was there somebody who taught you how to, just have a strong presentation, or do you have a team? How does all of that work?
I was just blessed, to be around some good people. Three of the main people, three artists who I could say I learned a lot from was, of course, I used to be signed under Duro Music, who had the Ice Cream Paint Job song, and learning from him is like presentation is everything. Presentation is important because it separates from people taking you serious and taking you as a joke, or even if they don't want to listen to your music, or they may see your presentation and be like, okay, I'm gonna give them a try just because it looks good,
Right.
So definitely the role, really helped out, and just being around other artists such as Lil Shine, who had the big regional hit back in about 2007 called Check Out My Lean. It was a big regional hit in the South. Being around him and also being around B-Hemp is just, watching them, and them letting me see how they operate. It really showed me when it was my time to do everything, like, this is how you do it,
Right.
And I don't have a team. I do all this on my own. I don't write up my stuff on my own. I do have one or two people. I have two different people who write up my articles for me, but as far as emailing them out and getting everything to blog sites and connecting with people, I do that all on my own.
Wow. And that's an example, too, of just showing somebody truly dedicated. You have a lot of artists independent artists that feel like, that's just something I shouldn't have to do, or, the administrative things are somewhat beneath me. But I've always felt like if you're really serious about your craft, you're going to take every element of your craft seriously. And even if you don't have the skill set to do some things on your own, you will invest in someone who can do it for you. And
most definitely. It's to me, as an artist, especially when you're an indie artist, I feel like you should do everything on your own for a minute, because once, if you do have the opportunity for the majors to come, you really don't want nobody to, play with what you're doing. So you'll have insight on your situation and be like, well, this kind of work when I was doing this on my own. Can we incorporate this into this new situation?
Right.
So I think it's good to always, know everything a part of the business, know every aspect of the business.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. And it even helps you know how to hire someone to help you. If you used to doing, like you just said, with incorporating things, if you used to doing your emails, then when you hire somebody to do PR work or be a publicist, there's different things, different guidelines that you can share with them on, hey, I know your skill set is publicity, but this is how I want you to approach my fan base, because this worked for me when I was doing it by myself. So, yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So So I know you're originally from Dallas. You were down here in Dallas, and now you're in New York City. What provoked the move to New York City?
Man, I mean, first is, it's New York. You feel me? Like, New York is like the music mecca, And I lived in Dallas, since I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I started doing music, came in Dallas. And, I kind of switched up my style of music, right? Kind of switched up my style of music. About 4 or 5 years ago, I switched up my style of music. And it's more geared, top 40 pop music, crossover music now. And, I did my thing in Dallas, and I got cool with a lot of people and made some good connects, Shout out to Billy the Kid at 106.1. Shout out to Adam Barham. He was at 93.3, the pop station in Dallas. So I made some good connects down there, met a lot of top 40 EDM DJs down there also. And now, I'm in the ocean now. That's what I call New York, the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for me to make even more connects. This is where the labels are at. This is where a lot of the big DJs are at.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up here to just network and build whatever I did in Dallas to multiply it times 50.
Right,
So
right. And
that's my goal.
And you're right, New York City is the #1 media market for music, and for just media, period, television and film. So I applaud you for saying, hey, I'm going to pick up, and I've done what I could in Dallas. Now I'm ready to do more. And it allows the opportunity for further networking. And see, with New York City, whoever gets on in New York City, all of the other remaining cities follow. You have New York City, you have Los Angeles, you have Chicago, you have Philadelphia, and then Dallas, Fort Worth. Those are the top 5 media markets. But once you get on in New York City, now every region up under them is going to reach out to you. So that was a very intellectual move that you made. So I'm glad to hear that.
If you really believe in what you do, you gotta really face it. A lot of people say fake it till you make it. I say face it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta really have a firm belief in God and know. I feel like as long as you have good intentions and you're doing right, everything gonna work itself out. If it's for you, it's for you.
Exactly.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I've loved music all my life, and it's something I'm good at. And I feel like certain opportunities, even while in Dallas, didn't come my way for anything. So I wanted to pursue it even more. So that's why I came to New York.
Okay, I'm feeling that. Now, even like what you just said, in addition to that, your tweets are positive, you're an inspirational person, your music, you reference God a lot. So was it like instilled in you, hey, Block, you're going to be an amazing person, I always think positive, I always do right towards people, I always have righteous energy, and you just grew from that? Or did you face something in life that got you to have a strong spiritual connection and have a positive aura about yourself?
It's both things, I grew up with a single mom, and it's not easy being a woman raising a boy into a man. So, I made a lot of mistakes growing up, got in a lot of trouble, but, she was always there for me, and sometimes, she showed me tough love, and as I got older, I'm 25 now, so now as I'm older, I see, like, okay, that's why she did this. But she can't save me all the time. Sometimes I gotta take those consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But she's always, moving to New York, we talked about it for a couple of months, and, my mom, person I love the most, she believes in me, and she's part of the main reason I even thought about, like, a lot of my music now, I'm even cursing my music, and it's not, one, because of her, but she also, we was in the car one day, and she was like, man, I hate listening to the radio, and, this rapper comes on, and it's beep, 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 all throughout the radio song, So I thought, like, okay, you know what? Obviously, there's more people out there that probably don't like that. And you can make a cool song without cursing in it. So now, I try my best not to curse in music. But I just feel like, without God, like, you really gonna fail in life, Like, you gotta be your foundation. And, like I said, I've been in trouble. I've done a lot of stupid things growing up. Like I said, I had a single mom, and It's hard raising a boy into a man. She did it, but it wasn't easy in no aspect or in any type of way. But we got here, So I really thank her, and I thank my grandparents too, because even though they're in Cleveland, Ohio, they always been like a dad. Together they were like my dad.
Right.
And anything my mom couldn't do, my grandparents were always willing to pick up the slack. Always. So, I mean, if it was not even just monetary stuff, it was like just even if, me and my mom were having problems, they were always there to, talk to me and get me, back focused on what I need to be focused on. So, thank you to my mom and my grandparents, I owe it to them.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. It also shows just, the word says, raise a child up in the way that he should go so that when he grows old, he won't depart from it. Even though you may have had challenges or may have faced different adversities and difficulties as a younger person, as an adult now, you reflect back on what your mother taught you and why she instilled certain things in you. You have a further understanding. And I think that's important too for people to see that somebody like you who's handsome, has the talent, has the drive, has a strong presentation, still hasn't forgotten how they were raised and what values were instilled in them. And I think a lot of times we need to show more of that in media instead of always the negative, because it's a lot of people who don't realize that we have role models in our presence right now. But it depends on what you choose to glorify. Do you want to glorify the person that's in and out of jail? You want to glorify the person who's, doing things that aren't praiseworthy? Or do you want to dig and look and find somebody who's actually doing something positive? So I think that's really important, and I'm glad that you shared that.
I'm not going to, make it seem like I'm the perfect person because I still make my mistakes. And the thing, I hate is even, famous people who make mistakes, there's so much other positive stuff they do.
Right.
The media ignores every positive thing they do. And the moment they do something negative, oh my God, it's like the biggest thing in the world. So,
right.
I even watch stuff like that, like I'm not, no major artist, but I pay attention to stuff like that, and it just makes me very aware of my surroundings. It makes me, I watch what I post on Instagram, I watch what I say on Twitter, just because I know sometimes people are watching,
right.
They have a little kid watching, and you don't want to influence people in a negative way. You don't want to influence the kid. Like I said, I'm 25, I'm still young, I'm still growing, so and nobody's perfect, so I'm still going to have my mistakes here and there, but, I try my best to be a positive role model, the best I can.
Right. And it's important that you see how important that is in this stage in your career, because there's A&Rs looking for music every day, and if there's anything on social media that can deter them from wanting to bring you in for a label meeting, they will find it and they will use that as a reason to not pursue you further. So a lot of indie artists don't think about that. They don't consider that. But it's true, and I'm glad that you have the maturity level to be aware of that. Now, I know that you're in New York, you're building your brand, you're networking. I see you on social media mingling and mixing and doing some performances and things like that. At this point, do you feel like, hey, I'm here to go further, and then once I go further, New York is really not where I want to be? Or is it, I'm just going to see where this goes? Or do you see yourself staying in New York for a long period of time?
In the future, I see me having multiple places in multiple areas. So I would definitely, love to have a place in New York. I would definitely love to have a place on the West Coast also, in LA. So, in the future, that's why I definitely, see if everything works out the way I know it's going to work out, I definitely see me keeping a place up here and definitely having a place on the West Coast also. So.
Okay, I like that. So I actually got a chance to interview D. Will a couple of weeks ago. That's Kurt Cobain's manager. And he was explaining to me how Kirko was signed to him and then his label is signed to Atlantic. And we were just talking about having indie pride and being an independent artist and attracting a major label. Do you feel like you would want to be signed more so to an independent person like LMG with D Will or Top Dog Entertainment, or are you looking for a standard record deal from a major label to where there's no interference, it's just you and that major label?
To be honest, I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm just looking to build fans. You know, label situations, that's gonna come when they come. Just like right now, I don't have a man. Everything I do on my own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, for the most part, I don't have a big team around me. I do all of this on my own. I go meet people on my own. I invest my money into my music videos. I come up with treatment for my videos. So, you know, and to go into all of that, everything will put itself in its place when it happens. So I'm not looking for a label. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just out here networking, grinding, and my main focus is to build a bigger fan base. That's all. Like, bigger fan base.
I love that. I love that answer because number one is rare, and a lot of times just things being rare make them authentic, but it's rare plus it's the truth, because a lot of times independent or unsigned artists are so focused on getting signed to where they forget about the legwork, like what you're doing, like building a fan base, because at the end of the day, like you said, no matter which angle your future comes from, whether it's with a label or an independent person putting money into you or shopping you around, whatever, you're not going to get any of that without a fan base, because you have to have a proven record that is getting radio play, and you have to show that you're marketable for anyone to put any money into you. So by you taking your career seriously, looking to build the fans, that's the number one goal, and I'm glad to hear you say that. Is that something that somebody shared with you that you should pursue, or this is just you on your own intelligence saying, you know what, I'm not going to worry about all the extras. I'm just going to focus on building my fan base and having the most professional presentation that I can have?
It is watching, people I was around, and just watching. I love music a lot. I can't even say how much I love music. I don't think it's words to explain. So I watch a lot of interviews and just people a lot of stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, without a fan base, you can't do anything. Like, it's signed artists that's on major labels not doing nothing.
True.
And then there's artists, there's indie artists that got, like Tech Nine, for instance. I can speak on him. He's an independent artist. His fan base is stupid. He's a millionaire. Like,
right.
He sells, like, in 3 months, they say he's projected to sell 1.5 million just off merchandise in 3 months on his tour. That's just off merchandise.
Wow.
That's because of his fan base. Like,
right.
You gotta really, like, a lot of people say, oh, I care about my fans. Like, no, you gotta, like, really care about your fans. Like, anybody who, I just put it on Twitter, like, and just even to go to blog sites, and people don't have to like your music. People don't have to post my music. People don't have to do anything. So, it's a million artists out there. So for every blog site, that post my music, this interview we doing right now, the people who say, oh, I like your music, like, that means the world to me, because you don't have to do this. Like, there's a million other artists out there. You could like somebody else. You could be interviewing somebody else right now. You don't have to interview me, So I'm just very appreciative of all of this, everything that happens. I'm so grateful and thankful, because it doesn't have to happen, And I feel like some people feel like they're just because you make good music, or just because, even if you are out there going, like, you're supposed to get this. No, you're not supposed to get anything.
Right.
Right. You're not supposed to get anything. Like, it's artists, and, there's a lot of people out there making good music. A lot of people. Somewhere they may not connect with something, and somewhere along the line it's not connecting. So you just gotta, just watch the game and see how certain people do stuff, and operate like that, and it'll work out.
Right. Right. I definitely agree. I'm like, wow, because I can name 5 independent artists right now that I know that should be listening right now and taking notes, because that's the truth. That's the truth. And I was talking to someone, a record executive the other day, and he was saying that he had been doing a lot of conferences, speaking to a lot of people, and he said that it's gotten to the point now where independent artists don't even come in for like the lecture or the panel discussion anymore. They just only want to perform. And that's just how ignorant minded a lot of people are, to where, yeah, it's a panel discussion with some record executives in there, but I'm not going to go in there. I'm just going to perform for them. But they're spitting jewels and knowledge to help you get to a better position. They could be saying something that could help your performance be better. But people are so focused on getting on the mic versus, getting knowledge or wisdom, and it's reflected in how they handle themselves in a professional manner, or lack thereof. Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate all of that information you shared with me. I do want to talk about a few of the songs off of the album, Billboard Music, in which I want to tell you I love the cover. It's very colorful, you're welcome, and it's very eye-catching, and it's not too busy to where you get confused. It's just a very clean, neat look, so I really like that. One of the songs...
My homie, Uno Danger out of Dallas, he the one who designed the cover for me, so, I gotta give him respect, Uno Danger, so...
What's his name again?
Uno Danger.
Uno Danger, okay. Okay, that's what's up. Shout out Uno Danger. That cover is hot, so that's what's up. Now I got a chance to listen to a few songs. One of them was Candy Lover, and I just want to know, was that written about a specific person, or those were just thoughts and you put it on the track, or what?
Candy Lover Candy Lover is the whole song is basically a metaphor for an adult situation, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So if you pay attention to the song and listen, you can catch some of the metaphors in the song that, I just tried to talk about, like I said, I'm grown, 25, so, but I still I didn't want to be explicit in the song,
Right.
So I still want to keep it cool and then have fun with it and, just kind of tweak it, have some fun.
Right. No, okay, so...
Not a specific person at all.
Okay.
It's just, really where the song came from is, I like the song Candy by Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I love this song, and I always wanted to redo Candy by Cameo. It's been redone so many times, like Will Smith did it. Mariah Carey used to be, Tupac used to be, he flipped it up on a completely different subject, but that beat, so like, I kind of wanted to do a song like that, but kind of do it my way. So I guess I could say it pretty much came from Cameo, song Candy.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I did like it, and I did catch the metaphors, and that's what and that's what made me think, oh wow, this is interesting. I wonder if this is about someone special. So I'm glad that you broke that down, and that also shows how you showing respect to Cameo, but also putting your own energy into your own song, and I'm glad you shared that. Now, on the song "Get You Right Back," pretty much about an ex that you're pretty confident that you can get back. Now on this, wait, what did you say?
I can get all my exes back.
Okay. All right. If anybody's listening, y'all see what he got to say about that situation. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So with that being said, was this one about anyone specifically, or it's just like, hey, I know how I can handle my exes, I'm just gonna put a song out there for everyone else who could possibly feel the same way?
I never want to say a song was about a specific person, too much, but it was about, I can't admit it was about multiple people. At the time I wrote the song,
Mm-hmm.
it was about multiple people, and, so I was like, I feel like I can get, like I said, I feel like I can get all my exes back, so I made the song. The situations were a little, each situation in that song was, or each something in that song was, I picked it from a situation from somebody particular and, put it in one song. But it wasn't about one specific person.
Okay. I like the lyric when you said mentally, spiritually, good energy. The fact that, you all were connected in a good place once before. And it kind of sparked a thought to me because I was having a discussion with some friends the other day about would you give your ex another chance? And when I heard this song, it's like, you know what? If I had an ex to where if we shared a strong connection mentally, spiritually, and we had good energy, then why not? So
most definitely, I'm in a situation right now, with somebody, and we've dated before. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend or nothing like that, but we are trying again. So I definitely, I believe in second chances. I'm probably usually the one who makes the mistake, so I guess I appreciate people for giving me a second chance. I don't know, so.
Well, at least you're humble. At least you're humble enough to say that. A lot of people, are so prideful. They go around making errors, but then they don't want to admit that they were the one in the wrong. So just by you having that type of energy about yourself, it makes people forgive you easier.
One thing I always say is you gotta know yourself.
Right.
You gotta really know yourself, and you gotta be real with yourself, and people know when they mess up, and people know how far they went with their mistakes, and you gotta be real with yourself first, and then you can be real with the person that you hurt, and then you go from there.
Exactly. Wow. I mean, you got a lot of wisdom there, Block. For real. You need to be teaching courses somewhere. So hopefully somebody who's listening, they can learn from your intelligence, because I'm really, really, really wowed by what you're saying right now. That's awesome. Now, you're welcome. The other song I listened to was New Kid on the Block, and I was just wondering, was that written in New York, and as a metaphor of you being Block and you're a new person to New York City, or was it inspired in a different way?
I wrote that song like a little bit before I came to New York, and it was basically paying homage again. I listen to all types of music,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the biggest groups, in music history was New Kids on the Block.
Mm-hmm.
And in the song, I didn't sample, but we redid a couple of the hooks. In the song I said you got the right stuff.
Yeah.
I had a song called The Right Stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other part of the bridge, we also took from the New Kids on the Block song. So it was step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Oh baby, you gotta get. That was New Kids on the Block. So when I had to name the song, since I did take two of their songs and turn it into a bridge, I definitely wanted to call it New Kids on the Block, and I was Block, so I was like, that sounds perfect, New Kid on the Block, so.
Right.
Basically paying homage, to their situation, and
right. Okay, that's what's up, and that definitely makes sense. And I like that. Like I'm kind of somewhat speechless right now because I'm really just impressed with your mentality and your vision towards music, and you can definitely tell that you take your craft seriously. And like you said, as long as you continue to do what you're doing, everything is going to align up and flow the way that it should. So what do we have to look forward to from you? I know right now you're pushing the album, which is awesome. Anything else that we can look forward to?
Pushing the album, building the fan base. That's my main concerns right now. I'm in New York now, so definitely I shot 4 videos for songs that's off the album. I want to shoot some more videos.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Cool Like That may be the next one. I'm thinking about shooting a video for Cool Like That, because that's a song it gets a lot of love in different areas. It's actually a radio station overseas in China that plays Cool Like That on their radio. So,
that's a hot song too. It's very catchy. Isn't that the one produced by, is it CC?
Yeah, CC is also singing on Candy Lover, and she produced Candy Lover.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, shout out to CCG.
Yeah.
Actually, and she's in New York right now, so we're about to get some more work in while So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so,
Yeah, shout out CCG. She is very, very talented. Very talented.
yeah, very talented.
Awesome.
One thing I also want to say about the album, I have to, specify this. One reason I go so hard for my album because every lyric on that album was written by me. Besides the hook on New Kids on the Block, my homeboy was singing, he wrote the hook, and then the bridge that we used from New Kids on the Block. Besides that, everything was written by me. Everything people were singing on there, everything was written by me. And I just want to stress that to let people know, like, I feel like I'm also a songwriter. I'm not just an artist.
Right.
I wrote the singing, I wrote the bridges, I arranged the music, but I did this, so,
Yeah.
I really take my craft serious. One of my favorite artists is Prince. That's my favorite artist, Prince. And I watch him, I watch his interviews to this day. And the way he commanded music and wrote for other people and arranged music was magnificent.
Right.
Hopefully one day I can get to that point. That's what I strive for.
Okay. Well, I love that. I definitely appreciate the time to speak with you today. I'm very, very, very proud of you and all of your success, and there is no doubt that the sky's the limit for you. So thank you again for spending some time with me today.
Oh man, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And let me say my Instagram and Twitter. Everybody, just call me Block. It's JUSTCALLMEDLOCK. And I always say this on every song, so I gotta say it for the people. Whoa!
And this was Block, everybody, with KP on kpmemphis10.blogspot.com.
This is KP from the Memphis 10. I write, I blog, I inspire. This is blogspot.com.
With you.